Okay, so how I started tennis coaching. So I was a player, much like a lot of the players that I coach. I played at Shipston Tennis Club, which was my local club and loved the sport really. And then when I got older and got to about 14, I think it was, the coach at the time, Mark Bowden. I think I think I was at a session and I made a comment about, oh, I think it'd be fun to do this as a job, get paid to play tennis and to talk to people about tennis. And he heard me and he said, well, do you want to come and, do you want to just help out? And I thought, oh yeah, okay, go for it. So started working as assistant, just, like a cone carrier, picking up cones, helping out a little bit so at Shipston and then a couple of other local clubs, and really enjoyed doing it, and really enjoyed like the teaching side of thing that I took part in as well. That was a big thing for me. And so I worked from 14. I worked through school. I worked then when I went to university. I kind of I did a little bit of coaching there, just as weekend money. So obviously, yeah, so as I said, I enjoyed coaching. Doing it as a career was a chance to take the coaching that I'd done before, combine it with my business studies degree, the off-court side of things. I saw as a chance to use that experience from my degree and bring that in. And then whilst I was at uni, I also did a bit of work in sort of broader sports participation, so not completely related to tennis, working to get people in the university doing sport, and really enjoyed that sort of sports development, sports participation role, and thought, this is another thing. If I can combine all these three things into one role, and I can do that within tennis coaching, that'd be really good to do. I'd say my best experiences, I came up with 4 of them. So the first one, so I was an assistant coach at Shipston working, and this group I can still remember. It was great. It was on a Friday afternoon, and why this group was such a great experience. There was one lad in this group who had learning difficulties, and he came down because his sister was part of the group. In fact, I don't think he was part of the group like when I initially started doing it. He came down and he worked off court with his mum while his sister did it, and then he obviously took an interest, started doing the group, but he struggled with getting frustrated. He got upset if he thought he couldn't do something, and the arrangement we had with his mum was that he'd come, he'd do the tennis. If he got frustrated and wanted to get off court, that wasn't a problem. He'd go off, and his mum would do some homework with him or whatever like that. And I think I worked with that group for about maybe 2 years. And in that time frame, he went from sort of on court 10 minutes, off court 50 minutes, to slowly building up the time he was there. And because I was the assistant in that session, the coach Wendy, who was leading the session, was obviously running it, and I spent a lot of time with him, kind of built up that relationship to the point where when I left that group, he comfortably spent more time on court than off, and really enjoyed it. And I actually went back when I was home from uni one time to see that group, and he was on, and I don't think his mum was even there at that point. He was just enjoying it. That's obviously made a quite an impression on me. A couple of others sort of from a bit more recent times. So there's a lad who's worked with me, started with me at Claremont when he was an absolute beginner. And then because he enjoyed the sessions, and his mum and dad felt he was getting something out of them, he moved from club to club with me and kept the sessions going. So, and I believe he's coming to Hazelgrove now as well, which is fantastic, because it's a bigger distance to come, but it's also fantastic because he's come on from that being a beginner and I think smashing red balls outside the court every chance he got because he just wanted to hit it as hard as he could. And now he's playing full court tennis, and he's a really, really good performance player. He's probably the player that I've worked with for the longest period of time. So that's that means that's a session that's quite special to me. Along similar lines, I love working with adults and tots. Those are my two, either end of the tennising spectrum. Those are my two groups I love to work with. And particularly, again, because I've worked up in this area now for a while, some of the tots that were coming to my sessions at Claremont have then again moved to Haysgrove and now to Sale. And some of the tots in my first sessions are like orange ball players. And again, just seeing them from when they started just dinking little sponge balls over the net or doing high five volleys, to see them playing tennis properly that's really rewarding. Really, number one, I'm just excited to get back on court, to be honest, at this point. Just like everybody else who's played tennis. In particular, this working at Hazel Grove is actually my first head coaching opportunity. So I've been lucky enough to work under loads of great coaches. This is my first chance to take all the things that I've learned from all those coaches, different things. I've also occasionally looked at them and gone, oh, well, maybe I wouldn't quite done it the same as that. Maybe I'd do it something slightly different. And so this is a chance for me to put my own program together, obviously with the help of First Advantage. So I'm really looking forward to that. Beyond that, just the same as starting any new role, is just really looking forward to getting to know everybody, what to expect at Hazel Grove, and also hopefully at the other clubs in the Northwest region. Number one is busy courts, is people on court as much as possible playing tennis, and that's players of all ages, all abilities, and I'm just getting people learning, but also enjoying their tennis. That's what I'm all about. Is I think learning comes from enjoyment. To get that to happen, variety sessions for all whatever people need. So team session for the guys and ladies who are going to go off and play in the Summer League, having the T-Fit cardio and blast sessions for people who have been, maybe slightly overindulging in lockdown and want to come back and really work on their fitness, but also in a really enjoyable setting, with a bit of music, which I'm very excited for. Massive variety. And that's obviously across all the clubs. And then to back that up, something that I'm really excited to, because it's maybe something that's I've not done as much of, being sort of the assistant, is really putting on lots of events, open sessions, tasters, whatever, competitions. The last kind of thing that I've noted down here, community. So that, as I said, that's having plenty of people on the courts, but then people at the club enjoying themselves, and it being somewhere to be, not just for your tennis lesson 1 hour a week. So my career aims, to me, tennis, and in a wider context, to be honest, sport in general, it's been such a large part of my life. And it's given me friends, it's given me lots of great experiences when I was playing and playing in tournaments and stuff like that. I love the idea of taking that, helping as many people as possible to have a similar experience and to love the sport. So where I would quite like my career to head ultimately is in that sort of that sports participation realm of facilitating people playing tennis or sport, or as many people as possible, and being a part of that. Or words of encouragement. I think that tennis in particular, I think tennis is a unique sport in its combination of challenge, of being able to play just you and enjoy the sport as an individual participant, being able to enjoy it as a pair or a team. I think the culture around tennis and the sort of the way, tennis plays out in tournaments and in matches and is unique, and I love that about tennis, and that's what I want to convey to people. Also, I've just thought of another one actually, is that how many sports out there, so that kind of sounds like a challenge, but tennis is a sport, if you pick it up now and enjoy it, you will enjoy it until you can't move anymore.